I don't even need to have it open right now. So before we get started in our reader's notebook, yesterday you started talking about subjects and predicates. Is there anybody that can remember what a subject is in a sentence? Every sentence, every complete sentence has a subject and a predicate. Can anybody remember what part the subject is? Angelina, what do you think?
Like the main character.
Like the main character, the who part of the sentence, right? So the subject tells us who we're talking about in the sentence. Who or what we're talking about in the sentence. What about the predicate? What is the predicate part? Every sentence has a subject and a predicate. So what is the predicate part? Alina?
Like a name.
Nope, that would be the who part. That would still be the subject. Anybody have an idea what the predicate part could be? The predicate is the what are they doing part. It's the doing part of the sentence. Okay? So the subject tells us who we're talking about or what we're talking about. And the predicate tells us what is going on in the sentence. What is the doing part of the sentence? Like the action in a way. All right? So there was a grammar snap video that we're going to watch that goes along with this. Let me open it up here, see if I can make it nice and big. All right, here's a grammar snap video. Every once in a while we have these with our lessons. They're like little short 1-minute videos that kind of go along with our grammar to kind of introduce it for us. So here, this one is about complete sentences.
Grammar. Snap.
Complete is a word that means all. When something is complete, it isn't missing anything. A complete sentence is a sentence that isn't missing anything. It tells the whole thought. It has two parts, a subject and a predicate. Let's look at a complete sentence. The subject of a sentence is the naming part. It names who or what the sentence is about. The boys play in the snow. This sentence is about the boys. So that part of the sentence is the subject. The predicate of a sentence is the telling part. It tells what is happening. A predicate includes a verb. What do the boys do? They play in the snow. So that means play in the snow must be the predicate. The next time you write a sentence, make sure it's a complete one.
It says a complete sentence tells a whole thought. It has a subject and predicate. Subject is the naming part. Predicate is the telling part.
Check out Grammar Stop for more.
All right, fantastic. So we're going to be talking more about complete sentences and making sure that all of our sentences have a subject and a predicate. Now, yesterday in your reader's notebook, I'm going to flip back a page here or two till I find it. Yesterday in your reader's notebook, you were working on page 2 in your reader's notebook, okay? So go ahead and open that up right now. Open up your reader's notebook to page 2 to look at what you were working on yesterday in the reader's notebook.
We did it.
So yesterday when you first started talking about complete sentences, we focused mostly on the subject, okay? The subject is the naming part. It's telling us who or what we're talking about in the sentence. And usually it starts at the very beginning. Usually the subject, at least for our sentences right now, are at the very beginning. So if you look at the bottom of this box right here, that's at the top of your page, there's a sentence that says, children play spy games. And you'll see that the word children is underlined. Children is the subject. It's the naming part of the sentence. It's who we're talking about in this sentence, okay? Yesterday, as you went through it, then you underlined the other naming parts in the sentences. You don't need a pencil out, just yet, Katie, okay? So you drew a line under Jason, and Jason sneaks around because that was the subject in that sentence. You drew a line under Kim in number 2 because Kim is who we're talking about in the sentence. Kim looks through the windows. Hopefully you drew a line under both my and brother for line number 3 or sentence number 3. If you didn't underline the word not my, that's fine. But my brother is the whole subject. And then John in the sentence for number 4, okay? Those are the naming parts. Those are who we're talking about in the sentence. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about predicates. So now you're going to turn to page 5 in your reader's notebook. So go ahead and turn to page 5 in your reader's notebook. And you will need a pencil ready to go. If you don't have one out already, go ahead and get one ready to go right now. Because we're going to talk about the predicates part of the story. And while you're working on that, I'm going to see if I can bring up my pen or pencil here. Oh, I can close this out. You don't need to write your name at all for it. I'm going to bring up my pen here and see if I can get it to work on the computer today. Keep our fingers crossed that we can get the pen to work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Fingers crossed.
Looks like it works.
Okay, so far it opened up. All right, let me close this out, and I should be able to tack my pen off to the side here. Oh, all right, so far so good. That's a good sign. Okay. Now, I know it's hard to see in the back there. I'll try to make it as big as possible. So if you can't see it, just raise your hand all the way in the back. Because I can't make it super, super, super big, unfortunately. I wish I could, but I can't make it super, super big. Okay? Okay. Oh, Yanessa, I'm glad to see you coming in there. Yanessa, make sure you have your reader's notebook. That's your soft reading book. The picture of the boy on the front and a pencil ready to go. You're going to need that for our activity right now. We're getting ready to do our reader's notebook, okay? Okay. So, yesterday we talked about the subject, the who part of the sentence. Today we're going to talk about the predicates. Up at the very top in the box it says a predicate is the action part of the sentence. I like to call it the doing part. What's going on in the sentence? A predicate tells what the subject in a sentence does or did. The action part of a sentence uses words that show action. And right here at the very, very bottom of the box, they give us an example. It says, David hides toys. Now notice they circled the words hides toys. What does David do? Hides toys, right? That's his action. All of those words are part of his action. So they circled the predicate, hides toys. Why didn't we circle David? Why didn't we circle David, Gwen?
Because it's not the name anymore. It's the predicate of what he's doing.
Right now, because David is the naming part, the subject, but we don't want to figure out who the subject is today. Today we want to figure out who the predicate is. Right, very good. Okay, so down here for number 1, what they're asking us to do is we're going to circle the word first, or words, that we think can finish the sentence, and then we're going to write them in the blank. Actually, no, we're not going to write them in the blank. We're just going to circle them. So we'll just circle the words that will finish the sentence. So, the first sentence, the subject is Sydney. And now here are our choices. Sydney looks for clues, or Sydney for clues. Now, whenever I'm trying to figure out what words make sense, I actually say them together. So I'm going to say it this way first. Sydney looks for clues. Sydney for clues. Which one sounds more like a complete sentence? Sydney looks for clues or Sydney for clues? What do you think, Derek? Which one sounds more like a complete sentence? Sydney looks for clues or Sydney for clues? Yeah, Sydney looks for clues sounds more like a complete sentence. So we want to circle looks for clues.
Why can't we use a highlighter?
Sydney looks for clues because the directions tell us to circle. So that's why we're not using highlighters. We're following what the directions tell us to do in the book. Okay? Levi, do you have a question?
I'm allergic to
Do you have a question?
No.
Okay, fantastic. We don't need to do telling sentences right now. If you have a question, you can raise your hand, but right now is not a time for telling sentences. All right, number 2. Our subject is Tara. And we have Tara house, Or Tara goes into the house. So I'm going to say them together. Tara house or Tara goes into the house. Which do you think is the better predicate, Kaden? Tara house or Tara goes into the house? Which one is the better predicate? Goes into the house is the better predicate. If I say those words all together, Tara goes into the house, then that's a full sentence. So what should you be doing right now, Kaden? We're circling it, buddy. Okay. Now, number 3, our subject is the children. And we have the children act like spies or the children spies. The children act like spies or the children spies. Jake, which one do you think best fits the sentence? The children act like spies. Yes. The children act like spies is a complete sentence. Now, this is tricky because it kind of sounds like the other word can make sense too. Let me say the sentence out loud. The children spies. The children spies. There's an S at the end of that word. We're going to learn later on that if there is an S at the end of that action word, we can't have more than one people in our subject. We'll learn that later on. Don't worry if your brain doesn't already know that now. Our brains are going to learn that again. Because it would be, this is a plural now, which means there's more than one kid. Children means more than one child. We can't have a plural action, too. When we put an S at the end, it makes it mean more than one, too. All right. Looking down at number 4, go ahead and put that on the floor. You don't need your water bottle on your desk. Just keep it on the floor. Thank you. Number 4, the kids is our subject. The kids' clues or the kids follow their clues. What do you think, Yanessa? The kids' clues or the kids follow their clues?
Kids follows.
Fantastic. The kids follow their clues. So let's circle that one. The kids follow their clues. And the very last sentence is everyone the toys or everyone finds the toys. What do we think is the best predicate for that sentence? Everyone the toys or everyone finds the toys? Jamie, what do you think, buddy? Everyone finds the toys. Very good. So go ahead and circle that. So right now we just need to make sure that we have complete sentences. Complete sentences have a subject, a naming part, and they have a predicate, an action part. All of our sentences need to have both of those parts in order for them to be a complete sentence. All right? Capiche? Capiche. Fantastic. Now, real quick, since we have just a couple of minutes before we're going to switch to something else, I want to talk about narrative writing. I know that sounds really long and big and fancy, but I want to talk about narrative writing. So give me a second. Let me switch my screens here real quick. Let me hit this button real quick and see if I can make this close. Quit this real fast. Yes, I want to quit that real fast. Nope, I don't want to save it. Oh, it won't let me quit it for some reason. Huh. Maybe I won't be able to save it. There.